So this is going to be my outlook for the week starting on the 23rd of January. Not a lot to add to my previous outlook this week, to be honest, but I'll do one anyway in case anyone wants to sort of discuss any ideas. So starting on the monthly, 10 days to the close, not broken any highs or lows, so not too much we can sort of take from this chart. The weekly, I think it's interesting how we started to break down, or we were breaking down. So basically price, we were up here, price broke down, formed support, closed below that support with a really nice close here, around one of our key levels. Then price failed to continue to the downside, ended up pushing up and closing above resistance. So if this was on the lower time frames, I'd probably start to look for buys if this candle closed above this high here. We managed to break the high, which is a sort of encouraging sign for upside, but didn't close above it. So for right now, I don't think it's safe to call upside or downside based off this. If I had sort of gun to my head, I'd probably say upside, but even then, when you start to add other time frames like the sort of daily understanding to it, I don't think it's time to start calling buys or sells exclusively yet. So as I was saying, there's not too much I can add to my previous outlook. I went over all the levels I was looking at. All the levels have stayed the same. I've not deleted any except for I've added 2 more levels. So one of the levels that I'm looking at here is on our 4 hour, where it's just basically because we've seen reaction here that we've tapped back into it here. So clearly, if price started coming back down into this level here, it would be important to be watching. Then also there was this level here that I was sort of discussing, or Kev brought up in the live lounge. I wasn't really looking at it. This is one of the levels that I'm going to have to keep an eye on for the at least first half of the week, because basically I'm looking at the mid-range support. Obviously, I've got sort of 2 mid-range support resistance levels. The main one's a Q2 base, and then also we've got this one here. But Kev brought up this one here because of the reaction we've been seeing previously all the way across here. But obviously we didn't see any reaction to it on the fundamental move that went sort of through it here, which is expected, but we tapped into it here again. So we've managed to move through it clearly here with no issues at all. So I want to watch this here, and if over the next couple of times we don't see any issues within this sort of blue box here, then I'll probably end up deleting it and just focus on the Q2 base. But for now, I'm going to watch it. So in terms of scenarios going into the week, like I say, nothing's really changed, to be honest. I was starting to look at, one of the things that I said basically last week was if we start to see reaction from the bottom end here, we can start to look at this as a range. We got that reaction, then we pushed up here to the top end, tapped into it, pulled back down, sort of confirming that this is obviously a range. So in terms of breakouts, I need to see either a daily candle close above this level here, or a daily close below here, or either 4-hour structure outside of our range on either side. Other than that, there's not a whole lot I can sort of talk about on this because, yeah, I'm not trading within any of these zones. I think if people want to, I think ideas can make sense within them, but you probably want to wait for targets to form first, just because of, obviously, these are very impactful levels as we've seen sort of previously. So reaction within them is pretty much more than expected. So. But other than that, in terms of levels, so I've covered all my levels. If we sort of break out to the downside, first off will be the monthly support here, I think. You'll see here, then our old monthly resistance that comes from the 1st of March 2021. As you can see, looking through there, we've seen reaction all the way across here. So start breaking down, reaction there, then ultimately to the monthly support level. If we start breaking out to the upside, the next level that I see us going to is 162.998, so just under 163. That's coming from our daily support resistance. You can see all the way through here, we've had reactions since pretty much May last year. So there, and then our key daily support and resistance, this is a level that Chris was talking about quite a bit last year, coming from the 14th of April's lower wick on the daily. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot to sort of talk about. Looking at fundamentals, I think in terms of looking at data releases even, it's a pretty clear week. It's set for Tuesday. On Tuesday, I think it's going to be, here we go. Yeah, so it's pretty clear week in terms of data releases. I think the only day that you'll need to sort of really be focusing on what's going on is Tuesday, just because we're obviously littered with it all the way through the session. So it would definitely be worth keeping an eye on that. With the GBP data releases coming up at like 9:30, it's sort of arguable whether it'll even be worth sort of taking trades. Or to be fair, it'll depend on your position in the week and all that sort of stuff. But with news coming up or data releases coming up so late in the session, it could cause either price sort of stalling before or sort of hesitation before the data, as people are sort of waiting for the data releases to come out. But other than that, that's pretty much it. No one's in the Zoom, so it was, let's see, yeah, yeah, no one's about, so there's no really any sort of questions to go over. So yeah, that's my outlook going into this week. Cheers.